it's Kyle here, and as you know by the videos we've already been doing on the channel the past week, we're currently doing a little bit of Project Nerdy tag. I've really been enjoying seeing everybody's answers, so without further ado, I'll just go ahead and jump right in. The first question is who is your nerdy crush? For me, it's just one answer that comes straight to mind anytime I think about that topic. It has to be Buffy. From the TV series, not the the movie version, but definitely Sarah Michelle Gellar's version of Buffy is awesome. It's a great character, beautiful, funny, smart, all that stuff. So definitely has to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All right, so the next question is which nerdy movie, TV series, book series do you think is overrated? So basically, which fandom do you just not get? And I know several members of the channel is going to hate this answer, but I tried watching a few episodes of it and I did not get it. To me, it's Doctor Who. I'm not saying it's bad, I just think it's overrated. I don't really get all the hype about it. But then again, like I said, I'm just not a fan of it, so I acknowledge its existence, but it's just not for me. Alright, question number 3 is which dystopian society would you pick to live in? For me, I had to go with the Hunger Games Society because I feel like I already got a little bit of a taste of that since I was an extra in Mockingjay Part 1. And since I was a citizen of District 13, I feel like even though it was just, about very little experience on filming set, it wasn't like I was there for a month, it's just a couple of days, but I still have a little bit of experience of what it's like to be a citizen of District 13, so maybe that would give me a little bit of a survival edge if I actually had to live in that dystopian society. So I'd have to go with the world of the Hunger Games, specifically District 13. Question number 4. Between Felicia Day, Will Wheaton, and Chris Hardwick, you only get to hang out with one. Which do you pick? I would have to go to Chris Hardwick, probably because, first I should say all 3 of those are awesome. It'd be cool to hang out with any of those for one day. But I'm going to have to go with Chris Hardwick, mainly because I'm going to put this little caveat with there. I love his show, The Talking Dead. So if the day I hung out with him, if I could get to be on an episode of The Talking Dead, that'd be awesome. And the rest of the day, we just talk about all sorts of nerdy stuff, from The Walking Dead to everything else. But that Walking Dead connection, I have to pick Chris Hardwick because of that. Question number 5. You get to pick one member of Project Nerdy and one member only to hang out with for one day. Who do you pick and why? And my answer is very similar to the answer that Holly gave, and it's Holly. And it's kind of similar reason why she gave picking me to hang out with is that I've known Holly the longest. I've never met her, and Holly really is the reason I got into YouTube. She's really the first channel I really became a huge fan of. So it feels somewhat weird that I've known somebody this long, and I feel like I know all this stuff about their life, but never met him. And since she lives on the West Coast and I live on the East Coast, we've never been anywhere remotely near each other. So it's just weird that I know somebody for this long and we've actually never met. So I think it'd be cool to get to hang out with Holly for sure. So hey, Holly, as I mentioned, got a guest bedroom here. Feel free to come along to Dragon Con and I'll put you up for free. You don't have to worry about a hotel room or anything like that. Alright, the next question was, if you had to get a nerdy tattoo, what would you get and why? So first of all, I should say I have no tattoos, and I really don't have a desire to get a tattoo. But I think if I got a nerdy one, given my Star Wars fandom, I'd have to get a Star Wars one. So I was thinking about it, and the one I settled on is the little logo for the Rogue Squadron. So hopefully that image on my iPad shows up somewhat remotely well. Alright, the next question is that if you win the lottery and you have nearly unlimited funds, what's the first big nerdy purchase do you make? And I should say I had 2 that I could have decided between. It took me a while, but eventually I landed on one, but I'm going to tell you both of them so you can see where I was thinking. First, my first thought was actually to buy original Nintendo and then also get copies of the games I played when I was a kid, just so I could relive all those classic games. That's, to me, is always one of the things I've regretted the most as a kid when I upgraded systems, that I got rid of my Nintendo and all those games. I wish I'd held on to those so bad. Actually, after that, I actually learned from my mistake, and when I upgraded systems in the future, I never threw away my old system until it just stopped working. I just would have multiple gaming systems. So I would love tracking down old Nintendo and all the original games I used to have, but winning the lottery I could do that. But that ended up being my second choice. My number one choice, the more I thought about it, was related to my love of books and the bookcases behind me. As many people who are book lovers will mention, one of their dreams is almost to have a room in their house, much like this is depicted in Beauty and the Beast. You know, the huge library where you have bookcases up to the ceiling, and it's almost like multi-floors where you need a ladder to get to all the books and stuff. So that would have to be, I'd have to remodel my house and then put up one of those super Beauty and the Beast style libraries in there. So that would be my nerdy purchase. Okay, the next question is, you get to rename Project Nerdy. What do you rename it and why? And before I answer this question, I should explain, I'm the person that came up with all the questions on this tag, so one, if you like or don't like a specific question, either give credit to me or blame me. But the reason I put this specific question in there, when Danny was actually starting this channel, me and another individual was kind of the one Danny was kind of using as a sounding board, and one was the things we were trying to figure out is what should we call a channel. Danny had a lot of great ideas. It was a fairly lengthy discussion, and Project Nerdy actually wasn't the first choice, and Danny might remember better than me. I don't remember what our first choice was, but there were a couple of choices before this, and when Danny would check, those names were already taken on YouTube, so we had to settle on Project Nerdy. I think one of them might have been like the Nerd Project or something like that. There were a lot of versions of Nerdy and Project in there, and we eventually settled on Project Nerdy. So I was thinking, it'd been very easy if we'd settled on another decision. So I was very curious to see if anybody else had any really brilliant ideas for what the channel should have been called instead of Project Nerdy. I do like Project Nerdy. It's not like I'm thinking we should change it, but I did like the Nerd Project. I think that would have been really cool, but I think Project Nerdy worked out. Question number 9. A porn company decides to make a parody of Project Nerdy. What's the name of the porn parody? And first off, I would say if any porn company's thinking of doing this, I would think this would be a very bad selling porn. It's not exactly we're the biggest YouTube channel in the world, so I don't think we actually have to worry about this happening. But to me, a fairly simple name came to mind. Hey, for Project Nerdy, the porn parody could be Project Sexy. There you go. And the last question is, tell one fact about yourself that you've never mentioned on YouTube before. So the first thought that popped to mind is the fact that I have never drank alcohol, never had a drop. But I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that on YouTube. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on Project Nerdy, but I'm pretty positive I mentioned it on my personal channel. So then I was struggling, well, what haven't I mentioned? And then I'm pretty sure I have never mentioned somewhat of a medical condition I have. It's not really a medical condition, it's almost, I guess it kind of is. It's just the way I was born in a certain way. There's no health problems associated with it. But to explain it, and somebody might be familiar with this term, I have a concave chest. So if you're not familiar with what a concave chest is, so everybody has a breastbone. So think breastbone's usually straight like this, flat. If you have a concave chest, it's dipped in like that, which means then your chest, when you see somebody with a concave chest, it almost looks like they have their center of their chest is kind of caved in, so there's almost like a indentation. It's caved in looking. So I have a concave chest. It can cause medical issues in some cases. I know I played sports my entire life, so I always had to go through sports physicals, and they usually always gave me a lot of tests in relation to my heart, because apparently people with concave chest, sometimes it's more common they'll have heart murmurs and conditions like that. Luckily, that was never the case with me. But basically, like I said, it looks like I have a hole in my chest. So if you can kind of see my shirt now, normal people, the shirt would just be flat here. Mine goes in like that. So if you can see how that is. So there you go. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned that on YouTube before or not, but if I have, I don't think I've ever done the shirt demo showing what a concave chest looks like. If you're really interested, Google it. You can find all sorts of images on concave chest. So that leads to the end of the tag, so I have to still cover my nerdy pleasure and my nerdy question to viewers this week. So my nerdy question this week relates to a movie that just came out this past week and absolutely bombed, and I did not see it, probably because I did not think it looked good. But did anyone out there see the Fantastic Four? I haven't actually talked to anybody that's seen it yet, but everything I've heard, it was absolutely dreadful. So I'm just curious if somebody actually seen it. Is it really as bad as the reviews are saying, or is that getting overblown? So let me know in the comment section below. And then my nerdy pleasure of the cycle is related to sci-fi television. I've used this as a nerdy pleasure before, but I'm going to use it again because I'm really enjoying these shows. It's the 2 shows on sci-fi that are on their first season, Dark Matter and Killjoys, and these shows are awesome. They're getting, to me, better and better with each week. I've really enjoyed the world building they're doing in these. They're building these amazing worlds, these amazing backstories, these societies. The character development's awesome. The actors are doing a great job. The writing in these shows are awesome. Both the shows remind me so much of shows in the Whedonverse. They have strong female characters. They do a great job of balancing drama and humor. Both are kind of centered around these ragtime. Both are centered around this kind of rough and tumble cruise of spaceships, very much in the spirit of Firefly. All the characters have kind of their backstories that they're trying to overcome, trying to make good on past mistakes. They're just great shows, so I would strongly encourage them. If you haven't seen Killjoys or Dark Matter yet, check them out. I'm still trying to figure out which of the 2 shows is my favorite. It's almost week to week they kind of change. At the moment, I think I like Killjoys a little bit better, just because Killjoys has a little bit more of a humor aspect to it than Dark Matter. Dark Matter does have its funny moments, but Killjoys has a little bit more humor in there, but still has a serious tone at the same time. So, but they're neck and neck. If next week's episode, if Dark Matter comes up with a great episode and Killjoys is not quite as good, Dark Matter will be my favorite show. So I'm really interested to see where those shows go. So that's definitely my nerdy pleasure. Hope you're enjoying this tag. It's also been somewhat nice not to be on a time limit on Project Nerdy for once, but next cycle we'll go back. And Holly, I know I think some other members of the channel might give you a punishment. Since you did post your video, I decided that was good enough for me. But if somebody else on the channel wants to punish you, feel free and go at it. So, Kat, I'll see you on Thursday, and everybody else, I'll see you in a couple weeks.